Opera, May the 15th, Ireland's probably most universally loved comedian takes the stage, Dara O Briain, who joins us right now. Dara, it's a pleasure to have you on for a chat. I think the first time we've actually caught up for a chat as well. How are you?
I'm very well, man. I'm very, very well indeed. Actually, yeah. The and I'm loving them. I'm clinging on to that title because people are fighting to be universally loved. And if I can hold them up, because they're all the other ones are horrible, they're bad people. They're
Yeah,
they're genuinely
you
unpleasant
have to
people.
say that. You have to say that. Yeah, I mean, you have to say that now. But look, I gotta say, I'm missing you from TV. It's one of those things that I enjoyed switching on the BBC and watching Mock the Week and seeing you on there. So I am missing you from the TV screen. So the first thing I want to ask is there a return planned?
There's no return planned. The and because we spent 8 weeks saying goodbye, and
Yeah,
it'd be totally tragic to then suddenly turn around and do it again. We wouldn't even be on again now anyway. I mean, the way the schedule works, we wouldn't have been on again until June. So if you're missing me, that's normal missing me.
yeah,
The
that's fine. That's just this
I'd like
time of the
I'd like you
year.
to feel the pang in June because that's when we would normally been on. But the no neighbors did a big goodbye and had everyone back on. Do you remember they had a whole thing and
Yeah,
they had brought
yeah,
Scott and Charlene back and all that like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
6 weeks later, the show got recommissioned on Netflix. We were in tuxedos playing "We'll Meet Again" over a montage of photographs as people wept. You can't turn that around. You
No, you.
can't.
But I mean, you can
It's
come up
like
with
it lacks
something.
class.
You can come up with something else. And I guess that's what I
Oh
want
yeah,
to give you a
look,
chance to have a
grand, yeah.
chat. I
Look,
don't know
I
if
mean,
there's
I
going to
haven't stopped
be.
working. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I'm still gigging,
Is
but
there a place? Do you think like those that the panel show idea is that has that had its day, or do you reckon
do you
there's
know what?
space
Because
for
it's left. No, I mean, if you think panel shows and things, you include Would I Lie to You, stuff like that. There'll always be, the British like. It's a way of getting a load of people on, booking people on. And the format change. Whether or not they're going to do a politics one right now, I think they're so sensitive. I mean, they can't even let their Match of the Day host tweet something without the place going into absolute. You have not the carnage over Gary Lineker here has been insane. The country ground to a halt
it?
over a tweet Gary Lineker sent and the government's response to it. So I'm not sure if they're quite ready to have that much, but like Frankie has a show on still. I don't think. Oh my god, that's it. Because Mash has gone, 8 out of 10 cats has gone, we've gone. Yes, no, something will pop up. Something
There's
always does.
been, and as someone who's like someone who grew up watching you on TV from stuff like, and I'm harking it back here. I hate to do this, but Echo Island, and then on to Don't Feed the God
Oh, thank you.
staple
That's bringing out the gold.
growing up. No, I mean that's the goal. They were the original, and even that was we were doing what the BBC was never doing in Ireland when it came to comedy TV and it came to the TV show Don't Feed the Gondolas, which you of course were the
Yeah,
host of.
yeah. Then
I
there's a
guess
panel
that
after
kind of a
that.
format is not really there anymore because of what you can and
That's
what
not
you
the moment,
can't say.
but these things come and go, and I think the Britain is too fond of satire and commentary and stuff like that, and to not somebody else not try it again or try something like that again. For me, the irritating thing is, independent of the fact that it was nice to be on the telly doing this thing, was that it was new people. We kept bringing new people through, and now there's literally no pipeline for that.
Yeah.
But like TV's in a weird place at the moment. TV's in a weird. Oh my god, we're fighting to put our dramas onto to beat Netflix, and so they're really scared about. So all the money's going into building huge dramas, and so just the ordinary sitting in the studio stuff doesn't seem to be happening as much as it was. But
Mm.
these things, I even in the time that I've been doing it, I have watched this wave go up and down and come back and around and like and so I'm the old man by the river watching corpses go past. It'll happen. We'll see all of this stuff change again. It's
Look,
gone.
a few comedians I've spoken to recently. We'll talk a bit about the show in a second. I want to get into that, but I want your overview
Yep.
on life, so to speak, first of all, because I have wanted for a long time to have a chat with you. A lot of comedians, I guess, now are saying that, and I think it might be as a result of COVID and whatnot, but their medium is being consumed through social media. And if it's not 15 seconds of funny, people don't really pay attention to it, and people don't have the attention span. They have of a rather hyperactive squirrel, and it's gone within seconds. Are you finding that a bit of a challenge to do a stand up, the regular Dara O Briain show in an audience, or do you find any difference?
No, I haven't found. What we found was different was it for a while people weren't coming out and they were very nervous coming out, and also everyone returned. So the first year of the tour was slightly nervous numbers, and you see that even that's worn now. So we're not back to the same kind of numbers that we always were previous to that. But there was a period we thought, oh God, is this all over? Because you can't get people out, but people were very nervous of being back out in the room again, and that took a while for that to filter through. But in terms of, I think if you're coming through now, that's tough. That's much tougher than it was, because also there's hundreds of comics now. It's okay for an old goat like me who's been doing this for a while. I have people know who I am, So people see the name of the post, they go and they go, oh yeah, well, we've seen him before, so therefore he's whatever, a proven kind of a thing. We know what's going to happen here. It's grand. If you're new, I think you're stuck in this 15-second thing. But crowds, when you go into a room, you can't just do 15 seconds of stuff like and so because when you're in a theater, you have to, it's still, you got to give people a night's entertainment. So it's kind of weird that the new lads have to do both of those things. I certainly would hate if I had to snip everything I did down to short. Suits some acts, never suited me. I'm a rambler. Even this answer is actually dragging on. So I'm well aware that my rhythms are keep it going, topper, add a bit, kind of thing. Whereas, as you know, now the way you make your name now is much more brutal than it was when I was doing it.
Now, this tour that we're going to get to see in Dubai is, I mean, first of all, the lineup is great. It is basically the Irish Comedy Festival, but in Dubai.
Oh, is this?
Well,
I'm coming in and not going. Who else is on?
I don't know what's been officially or what we're officially announcing to tie in with this, but I know that it's going to be Jimmy Carr, Joanne McNally are going to be there as well, and you're going to be there through 3 different dates that are happening at Dubai Opera. So, I mean, overall, let's take it as it is, because Jimmy Carr is a Limerick man originally. Let's take it as it's kind of the Irish Comedy Festival in Dubai. And I find this a lot, and I don't know if it's something that you experience just in day-to-day. It's difficult to go about your day-to-day stuff and just in general things like, calling up restaurants, because people think that you're trying to be funny, even though, and it's an inherently Irish thing, it's just how we speak. Like they think that we're trying to be hilarious, and we're genuinely not. So is there ever a Dara O Briain downtime where people don't go, you're hilarious, it's a great crack altogether?
Honestly, it's far more I'll be sorting something out with my bins, and someone will go, I was expecting you to be funnier. Going, I'm literally just doing the bins here. Could you calm down? Like, I actually have the content, I'm afraid, has to be quite prosaic at this point. So I can probably have the opposite thing. It's not like people go, no, you're always joking. It's like expecting more. You're quite quiet. Yes, because I'm watching my kid play a football game. I'm not standing on the sidelines juggling for laughs. That's probably more my thing. Also, because people presume that you're like boom, boom, boom. We do 2 hours on stage. We get it out of our systems quite comfortably. We're fine. We're like, even when I get to Dubai, I've done 3 gigs already in Scotland the week before, or in the north of England the week before, and I come back and start another one. I'm grand. I'm fine. I'm fine. That's good. Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm just going to carry on reading the menu and then order some food. I don't feel the need to be boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Also, it's a challenge.
But people kind of also, if you did the things in conversation that you do on stage as a comedian, if you just did them, it would be horrendous. It would be like, could you imagine being at a dinner party and going, what do you do for a living? Oh yeah. And then like, oh yeah, that's, this is the reason, that's rubbish. And like, I'm doing that thing, that like audience stuff, audience work, when there's like 6 people just looking shocked and they're going, why is he so shouty? Why is he not letting anyone else answer the question? So you have to know when to stop. Yeah. That's my advice. You have to know when
is the key.
To just let it go. Let it go,
tour
man.
As well. And I haven't seen this tour. I haven't seen anything, to be honest.
How could you see? You're in Dubai, man. It's a tour. It hasn't come to you yet. That's why you haven't seen it.
I mean, a lot of people travel for comedy gigs. Like I do travel for music gigs. I haven't traveled for comedy gigs. So at the moment, since the pandemic at least, this tour is, from what I've read, a bit personal. And it's a bit... I suppose if you've seen you before and you've seen perform on stage before, this is almost a different vibe to it. But there's been a lot that's gone on behind the scenes and through the last couple of years that have made this.
There will be. There is. I mean, there's a sense that like look, that makes it sound like, I mean, it's mainly funny.
It's not this is your life.
Exactly what I'm going to do when I'm over in Dubai, because I may, there's stories that you can tell when you're in a theater, and there's stories that you can tell when you're in a conference center, and for a while in Dubai, we've been playing the World Trade Center, and that is a big, long, flat room that goes off the back. And you're kind of going, might not do a long person story here, because there's people who are like 40, like 400 yards away from me at the back of the room here, like whatever. So I haven't seen the opera. I presume the opera is a theater.
It's intimate. It's a nice intimate setting. I mean, it's still on a massive scale, but it's a beautiful intimate setting. Very like
well then that might change.
Like the in Dublin. That's the best description I could give to you.
Yeah. Your standard kind of Edwardian Victorian theatre, red velvet, 3 layers, stall, bang, bang, bang. Yeah, exactly. Great. Then that could change what I was going to do, because there are versions of the story where you go, look, I can tell this personal thing that I've got. It's only like the last bit of a show, by the way. There's like boom, 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 and then there's a kind of interesting gear change for the audience that's expecting it, and then it returns to boom, boom, boom a bit. But there's a kind of a little thing, and you kind of there are gigs where you go, nah, this might not be the place. This might not be the night for that, because and I can easily just swap in something. So I'm going to play it by ear a little bit, I think, because as I said, when you're doing it in the World Trade Center, great fun, but it's a big long conferencey room rather than an intimate theater. And so there you kind of go, yeah, let's go bang 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 and make some jokes about brunch and then get out of here. And again, so I'm going to play the thing cordial, but there is basically there is a story that I've been telling for a while, which is more kind of a heartfelt thing, but it's only a part of the show rather than the whole show. But it's kind of nicely disguised within it, and then you're going, oh, I wasn't expecting this. So we'll see. I'm going to play my cards close to my chest as to what I'm exactly going to do.
Well, I want to just, before we finish up, ask about that, because, and I don't want to go into it in too much detail, but it sounds like a Netflix show in the waiting. It sounds like somebody needs to hit you up and say, right, let's do, I'm not saying Davina McCall, this is, you are who you are, or whatever that show that she does is. Okay. But I think there's something in there that could be a Netflix show. And I feel like, has this been something that's in the works? Is it something you'd consider?
We've talked to a few people about the story, because there's a whole story about family roots and all this kind of stuff that might be a way of doing it. It might be because it's a very, it's an amazing story that taps into an Irish thing in a huge way. And there are discussions at the moment. People go, well, can we tell the story in our television program? And you go, no, I'd like to tell it on stage. That's very pleasant to do it, and I'm totally in control of how I tell it. And it's a long story that has things that loop back in again. So it's an interesting one. I think we'll take it's always I always say royal we, as if there's a huge team of us here. It's literally me. You can see the empty room. But I'd go, right, now that I've done it live, which is always a priority for me, let's see, is there any way in which this story could find another way to being told in a kind of a television context, and can I start giving more documentary thing around it, put stuff into it? So yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think it's necessarily going to be Netflix. I don't think it points to old man face their demographic and what they're looking for in terms of comedy at the moment. I'm very much not there, definitely, but possibly RTÉ, possibly BBC, like whatever, possibly more just old school. We might do it here, and we might find a way of doing it. But I'm weighing up that while at the same time just enjoying it as a story I tell exactly. That's the joy of being a live comic. I can tell so exactly as I want to tell it before it starts becoming, other people start going, well, we could snip this and snip that, and you're going, this is exactly the way, because I know when I'm dropping the things and revealing things, and when I'm moving the emotions around, like whatever, it's grand. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, because honestly, as I said, I sort of decided Dubai might not be the place for it, but now the shape of the room might change that entirely.
And I feel like we've creatively teased it enough that we've given
I know
nothing away. And I feel like you have to buy the tickets. So this was, I think that was...
People go, wait a minute, it was just a load of stuff about his, oh, that's ridiculous. That's how we fell off a
we were as vague as we possibly could be with that, intentionally so. It kicks off on the 12th of May. Dara O Briain, you're going to be here on the 15th of May as well.
Yes.
It's going to be great to have you back in Dubai again, at a wonderful venue at Dubai Opera as well, all part of Dubai Comedy Festival. An honor, a pleasure to chat to you as well. And I got to be honest with you, one of the interviews that, it's one of those ones I wanted to tick off my list for a very long time. So it's been lovely to chat to you today.
John, you're very kind. That's very, very good. And I'm looking forward enormously to get over to Dubai.